Hi guys, welcome back into my channel. So in this lab and lecture, we're going to understand and configure OSPF advanced features. So as you look here, you see it says that, now by the way, this book is the CCNP Encor cert guide from Cisco. So if you follow along with me, you get the privilege to, I'm gonna leave a link of this book in the bottom of each of my videos. So you can have this book for free if you're interested in having this. So if you look here, you will see it says that LSA type 2 network link represent a multi-access network segment that use a DR. The DR always advertises the type of 2LSA and identifies all the routers attached to the network segment. If the DR has not been elected, a type 2 LSA is not represented in the LSDB because the corresponding type 1 transit link type LSA is a stub like type 1 LSA. Type 2 LSA are not flooded outside the originating OSPF area. So these are different architecture on advanced feature for OSPF. So you could come and take a look at them yourself. Just understand the conceptual overview of what is type, what is OSPF in depth, because it's easy to go ahead and just do the lab, but it's better for you to understand what is OSPF, what is it used for, why is OSPF is so important, especially for if you want to increase your knowledge into the CCNP level. So it's important that you understand OSPF, multi-area, different kind of OSPF version 2, 3, and stuff like that. So let's just read here. So if you follow along with me here, you see it says that, note, an ABR advertises only one type 3 LSA for a prefix event if it is aware of multiple paths from within its area type 1 LSAs or from outside its area type 3 LSAs. The metric for best path will be used when the LSA is advertised into a different area. Now, contiguous networks. Network engineers who do not fully understand OSPF design may create a topology such as the one that illustrated in the figure of 912, which is this one down here. While router 2 and router 3 have OSPF interfaces in area 0, traffic from area 12 must cross area 23 to reach area 34. An OSPF network with this design is discontiguous because inter-area traffic is trying to cross a non-backbone area. So gives you area 12, area 23, 34, and so on. So now it talks about, like, most people assume that this network route learned by the area 23. Will then advertise in router 2 area 0 and then propagate to area 12. However, they will be wrong. There are 3 fundamental rules of ABRs used for creating type 3 LSAs. So there go those those 3 fundamentals rules. You could take a look at them yourself. Now, let's go ahead and jump on the little lecture that I prepared from this book. So there are a number of advantages of using OSPF over internal routing protocols. One advantage is that it is vendor independent, and another is that it is very flexible and it can be adapted to be used in a number of different network situations. So this article pick up where the basic OSPF configuration article left off by briefing, discussing, and showing the configuration command requires to configure OSPF on of this OSPF flexibility. Now, the main concept that we're lecturing today is OSPF advanced concept. So before we go into advanced OSPF configuration, let's review a couple of key concepts. We have stub area, which is important for you to look at it when you get a chance. So it says one of the features that can be used with OSPF that can reduce devices cost and unneeded traffic is stub area. So you could continue read that yourself and see what is stub area, what is it used for, what is it that is so important. Now the other one is network type. It says the way that OSPF operates depends on the type of network technology that is being used and how it is connected together, the different parts of the network. So in Cisco equipment, in normal LAN that supports multicast and broadcast communication by default uses the broadcast network type. This network type is Cisco proprietary. The broadcast network type supports the dynamic discovery of neighbors and utilizes the concept of designing routers, which is DR, and the backup, the designated routers, and designated routers, I mean to say, not designing, I'm sorry. So this support enable an easy setup OSPF network and reduce the amount of traffic that is required between the different OSPF devices. So now we have a table of OSPF network types. Go to table. It's important to know that OSPF network type, they have a broadcast, point-to-point, an MBA, point-to-multipoint, point-to-multipoint non-broadcast. And they uses designated router, border designated routers, yes to broadcast, no to point-to-point, yes to NBA, NMBA, NBMA, and no to point. Now you could, take a look at them. What's very important to also is the default LO interval and know if they are Cisco proprietary or not. So it's very important, guys. So now Let's talk about OSPF advanced configuration. So we have auto cost reference bandwidth as discussed in this OSPF concept article. The default reference bandwidth that is used by OSPF when calculating this metric is 100 megabyte per second. This default settings work well in previous years when the speed of network interfaces did not exceed this bandwidth. But in modern network, it is not uncommon to see either 1 gigabit or 10 gigabit per second length interfaces. So by default, in the network that we have these higher bandwidth interfaces, 100 megabit per second, 1 gigabit or 10 gigabit per second, support would each have the same metric. That is because of the default reference bandwidth on the network that support these higher speed interfaces. So you could look at them yourself. So area stub IP OSPF network. So OSPF advanced configuration with these. So we prepared, different commands just to show you how to configure OSPF if you're having trouble to remember OSPF commands. You could always stop into this channel and you'll be finding different commands on how to work with OSPF. So before we end this lecture today, let's take a look at this down here before we end this. So OSPF advanced features concept. Area 0 and area 1. So this time has arrived to tackle some of these more advanced and interesting feature of the open shortest path first protocol. We begin by examining the configuration and verification of the different OSPF area. This is an existing that is not only fun, but it can really cement the knowledge down on how these areas function and why they exist. So OSPF LSA type. OSPF, or fundamental concept of OSPF, it is what makes the routing protocol hierarchical, as we like to say. This is a core backbone area 0, that connect to normal non-backbone area. The backbone might also connect to a special area type we will examine in detail in this chapter. This hierarchical nature of the design help ensure the protocol is very scalable. We can easily reduce or eliminate unnecessary routing, traffic flow, and communication between areas if necessary. So database size are also contained using this approach. So there go the two types here. So the backbone and non-backbone. Like I said, guys, you could take a look at this yourself and understand if you come here. Now, last but not least, this little lecture that I want to talk about today before I start this this lab today. Spider. That's probably will say it. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull up Packet Tracer and start. So it says configure OSPF advanced features. So they go to the addressing table, router 1, bang, 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 router 2, 3, PC 1.3. They go to interfaces, IP address, subnet mask, and default gateway. So the lab objectives, it says to modify OSPF default settings. It says to verify connectivity. So verifying connectivity, it's just If we were to say simulation and we hit this, so it's visible from PC1, PC2, PC3. It goes to router 1, router 3, escapes 1. So you could see the connectivity here on the simulation. So I'll go ahead and just stop this for now. And it says that after test the connectivity between all the devices for modified OSPF settings, verify all the PCs can ping the web server and each other. So web server 64 at 100 1.2. Hmm. And 64 100 1.2. So we see that the ping didn't work. So let's go ahead and start this configuration. So here's what it gives us. It says that adjust the halo and dead timer between PC 1 and 2. So we gotta get to copy. Just copy this and see if we can paste it. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that for PC2. So it says not PC2, but router 2. And we grab this, copy, paste, grab the IP OSPF halo and a volt 15. we paste it, and then we grab the IP OSPF that interval is 60, paste it. So it says after short period of time, the OSPF connection with router 2 will fail. So both sides of connection needs to have the same timer for the adjacency to be maintained. So we have to adjust the timer on router 2 as well, which we are just done. So it says adjust the bandwidth settings on router 1, trace the path from router 1 to the server located. Notice PC router 2. So now so if we trace the path, let's see. Okay, so now what do we get? Router 1. So we exit out, let's say bang, 64.100.100.1.2. Let's trace this path and see. So let's try the simulation. Let's do this and see if we get the ICMP echo. So let's do, so the web server, so there we go, we get a, so from router, so we get router 1 here. So let's try to trace that a little bit into the web server. So, okay. Okay. So now that all the PCs can ping each other on router 1, just a second. Let's try that from router 2. So on router 2, why don't we go ahead and make our configuration for the interval time So that's basically all that was required in this lab configuration. It's a pretty short lab. So all we got to do on part two was just to verify the connectivity, verify all PCs can ping each other and the web server and each other. So if we go again on simulation and make this a little bit bigger. If you were to do this, so you see connections. Yep. So it's visible. So on water one here, the web server, it travels from water one to switch one and it goes to PC one. So as we follow, so we see that they all can communicate to each other. Let's try again a little bit. Goes to the web server, PC3, travels from PC3 to water 3, main switch to water 3, it goes up to water 2, and water 1, pass to the internet, and it goes to the server. So, bingo. Now, guys, thank you so very much for following along with me. I appreciate you guys was taking the time and look at together with me this this lecture on configuring OSPF advanced feature. So again, this lab, a link of it is gonna be in the bottom um of this video, in the books and the lectures and everything. So thank you. I'll see you in the next lecture. Bye-bye.